Hello, everybody. I am Macho here for some reason being pulled back out into casting today. Joined my Natnif who's finally wearing something appropriate. And we are witnessing today the start of a possible run to a WCS from either teams here. Quick Esports versus TA Sports. Both extremely high caliber teams battling it out today across multiple streams, being recognized now all across the globe by every single person who's watching those. How are you doing today, Natnif?
I'm having a great time. I'm loving watching the Overwatch Esports Twitch chat because there are some absolute bangers in there. Like people just asking, "Are Overwatch pros praying? Are these guys top 500?" Someone betting their house on Quick Esports. It's a blast to see Quick getting onto the big stage. I'm sure all the players are ready and raring to go to give it their all to really show the world what they can do because they already have, even specifically in this stage before against CA, they blasted them with a 3-0 that you were lucky enough to see, and I was unfortunately otherwise unavailable. But also, Match, we can't really go too far without mentioning how this is quite a special event for us, like looking at the players, specifically Arius, the team we casted for last season. A fair few of those players have come over now for TA, so it's very interesting for us because we've seen these players really, go on the up and become big shots now in the scene. And Arius, quick here as well. They started off as the favourites in the tournament. If you ask the majority of teams, I remember Scar from Incendia talking about an interview that Quick, especially with the bright spot of Willis coming in, were the favourites to be in the relegation season. But now TA do stand in their way. So a lot to look forward to in this upcoming match. Quick, this is it here and now. They got knocked down to lower brackets by Frost Tales, but can they repeat the performance against the Titans that TA have shaped out to be this season, or will they fall short, just short of that relegation area?
Yeah, I mean, this is truly an all or nothing battle for both teams. Nothing left to there's nothing left to lose anymore. If you lose, you're out of the contention for this glorious OWCS relegation battle, which is the goal for every team here really. And I would like to say as well that you mentioned with TA and Quick them to the teams we've been casting here for a while now. It is really nice to see the development of all these players, especially even with TA, the new signings they brought in to try to contest this tier one scene that you'd like to get into, and it's really looking like they're alongside Quick here. Even it's a three-way battle here with Frosttails inside this Masters division, who is the really strongest suit. Frosttails have looked to be the one on top now, bringing themselves already into the relegation finals, but there's still money to play for all these teams. So even you have to win this one. There's $1,000 bonus alongside the relegation battle for both sides. And it's gonna be an interesting thing to see for sure. Maybe both teams bring in some extra heat and fire today. Try to get to that Frosttails challenge, then grab a juicy $4,500 bonus there as well. So there's a lot of money on the line, especially for an unorganized team as well like TA. You don't have the org to support you, so a juicy bounty would be nice to get in there. And for Quick as well, you'd finally get some rewards out of this tournament part of for so long. Surely be a big help. That kind of
Yeah,
bonus coming to your bank.
yeah. I think the money is a nice part of it. Of course, these players are all, coming into the upper echelons of some professional play, and that's part of it. But the glory, the honor that you get from being into that OWCS, a promotion area, I think is really what's on Quick Mind. These are players that have been kind of on the edge constantly of the upper, echelons of performance, and this is their way to properly break into it. They just missed out on the OWCS qualifiers themselves, and now they'll have a chance to go against those bottom two teams if they can overcome TA today. Yes, there are still Frosttails, the giants that have been dominating the scene, dominating FACEIT Masters throughout the rest of the season. But right now, Quick are entirely focused on beating TA, of playing stuff we've seen them before. Again, it was a 3-0, pretty handedly achieved 3-0 against TA in the upper bracket semi-finals that Quick were able to dish out. So they have the confidence to come into this. They have the mechanics. They have the team play. They've been working together now that entire season. Again, looked a bit shaky at some points, but this is where you need to come together. This is where you need to be united, rock solid, and looking to take away this W, because that will get you the top two. That will get you promotion. That'll be a sigh of relief. Then you can see what you can do against Frosttails, right? But right now, TA are the focus. They are the ones in Quick's crosshairs. We are just waiting to go into the game soon, but it should be starting us out on, I believe, Nepal with a Juno ban to start things off. We're not entirely sure what the other ban is going to be in response line, but it's still being finalized. I think this gives us a chance, actually, if you talk about an interesting roster move that they made in the last Upper Bracket semi-finals, the last meeting against TA. Zydra came in and looked really dominant on the Cassidy, according to you. Do you think that Quick will bring that out yet again today, or what is it that they are going to be throwing out into the field?
Um, yeah, I do think that Zidra was on the roster from the start of correctly as well, but did really
Yeah,
come in that TA matchup really dominantly, and I think you can keep that up with then certainly having Snorop as well pop in for the maps where Quick might be needing of that extra sojourn comfort. But Zidra did look very dominant on the characters that you needed to beat TA time Cassidy. Makes it a little bit easier to deny Gucci's value and Trace. Seems to be Gucci's, well, I guess it's not Gucci anymore. It's a Peekaboo, so we've got to get used to that.
they
But
have they changed their name properly now to it's
uh,
Peekaboo, no longer
I
Gucci.
mean, it's inside the game, so I can only assume that's what is preferred for
Okie
Peekaboo. So not gonna. I don't know
I
the
mean,
details of that. So, but assuming if you're using the username on the official face, that's assumedly what you prefer. So,
probably.
but yeah, a very strong pick, to be aware of for Quick is that Peekaboo, as well as Thomas' flexibility, something that can catch people off guard. But if Quick are able to adapt it like they did last time, this will be a very interesting showcase structures. As Quick do have that extra availability for Skitor to come in and have a Winston match. Tama, in all fairness, has been looking like the strongest Winston coming out of the season, possibly even going into the next season. How these matchups go. But then you've got Skitor there as well, a pretty underseen so far asset from Quick. I really did shine every time.
Yeah, I mean, Tama, we saw specifically in the Arius matchup a while ago, which was absolutely dominant on the Remarch. I basically played the Remarch the entire way through, apart from on Dorado, and just looked really dominant on there. The backline as well, Takuno, super strong player, able to flex onto that, both really looking really good on the Juno and the Ana as well, the Kiriko. Alba 2, love to see him on Arius. Really, I think has been one of the quickest growing players in terms of performance, in terms of caliber of play. So we're excited to see what they can bring again to the table. But yeah, overall, a lot that TA can throw out. I think Gucci and Lauren are my main areas of concern, and Tama as well with that Remarch. I think his Remarch looked really, really dominant, and unless you were matching him, I mean, Malga is still maybe an option, but he's kind of been gutted in more recent patches. So I think it's Gucci. Like he still is a star playmaker. Lauren deadly with the overclocks, especially on the social, but maybe Caskamian maybe somewhat limits that. But they both have a playstyle where they will go for high risk, high reward plays. They will go for flanks. They will know when the chips are down and when they need to flip the table to get any kind of win. So Quick have to do their best to avoid that. We currently metamorphized into Bullskunk and Kenobi. I don't know if that's on the screen. No, that's not. I'm just seeing things. I'm just wishful thinking. Uh, I'm just maybe hoping that the Machi will grow a luscious main as such as that. But in the meantime, yeah, the second ban I'm still waiting to see because Junior ban is interesting. It's Farah, sorry, that's come out on the pool. Gucci, uh, very dangerous on that Farah. TA do love to play that kind of slow, pokey brawl style. So interesting picks coming out. Both kind of key pieces that we've seen that Quick like to employ and TA, sorry, like to employ have been eliminated here. So what do you think is going to come out here? Maybe still a remark show with like a Kiri Lucio, maybe more of a like maybe a queen even. I don't know what's the dishes of all the poisons that both teams were trying to dish out on the opponent today.
I mean, we have seen. I'm assuming that Juno ban is because of TA's. I would say extraordinarily weird, or is that Juno Brig or Juno Lucio comp that they just when I saw it at one point just completely ran it down a W into the backline. So that could be an anticipation pick to not let them have that. And the Farah is just a pretty strong answer here. A pretty strong answer here for a lot of going into these matchups. This map specifically, Nepal, quite a famous one to have a lot of boop spots and a lot of outside areas where Farah has very good lines to really disturb the play. So it might just be as well as a protect ban here for Juno. It's something like you let it go for the rest of this. You'll have that in your pocket. It's not maybe that necessary on control. And I don't know if the argument is that if you can ban Juno again. I don't know the rules. I'm not really
Well,
in it for that.
I guess we'll see at some point, but at the moment, yeah, we will assume that Juno is now off the table for at least TA, at the very minimum, as that was who they banned. A quick banned Farah, just to clarify. But yeah, tank wise, what you would think? Still Ramatra, maybe Orisa coming back, Orisa Cass, some kind of Tracer Genji as well. Is that the kind of spearhead style you expect to see from Tama and I believe it's still a Willis that's in the lineup. Um, but in the meantime, the match has been paused. We have been yapping for quite some time to try and account for that. I'm assuming it's some kind of prod issue on the mainstream. But uh, while this segment has been going for quite some time, there'll also be another set of streams after the EU matches, the NA matches. They'll be coming out. Hopefully, we should have some very interesting special guests. So keep your eyes peeled for that. If that ends up being the case, super exciting stuff. But I won't jinx it by saying what it will be just yet. But yeah, it'll be I believe Supernova, Dildux, and I can't remember the other names of the teams, but they will be maybe Extinction. I'm not 100% certain. I might check to see, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see that down the line. Quick, we'll be covering that here as well, so keep your eyes peeled on our socials for more information to come closer. But the match should be starting soon, according to our sources. So hopefully, while we're just waiting for that, we can maybe see, maybe make some predictions, right? Maybe get some oracle going here. What do you think the map score is going to be at the end of this match? Do you think Quick will bring another 3-0? Do you think TA will make it more of a competitive series? What do you envision to be coming to our screens in just a moment?
I think it might be going in the way of a 3-1 for a Quick, considering. I mean, I do think TA have the strength to definitely take this. Well, it could be going either way. But I think with all things considered, with how I would say one style that TA are to a degree, there's a lot more rationality to the bans you do, where you'll know what you want to ban a lot of the time, and Quick more so don't really have a set style. We've seen them run Ball, Hazard, Junker, Quindiva, Ramatra, with you Winston as well, and then you've got a pretty flexible DPS time for being able to sub in Hydra and Nodra respectively. I think Dip is gonna be in the series for the entire time. Flexible player on, but yeah, I do think it's gonna go in Quick's favor just purely because of this going in. You know what to ban, and at this stage where all the pressure is on you, if you can get a little bit of an easy time for your a little bit of a breathe,
Yeah, it
should
does
be
feel like
doable.
Quick are are somewhat in the driver's seat. Yes, they might not still be steering perfectly straight. Maybe some swerves, some roadblocks in the end, but I think Quick will take this out. Overall, they have done in the past. They have the comfort, like I said, with the hero bands. They know they're kind of more flexible. They know they have a lot more variety of style. I think the main question for me, it's going to be Dip. It's always been whenever I've been fortunate enough to cast on the quick stream. Can Dip be the superstar? We've seen him shine through onto the stage at so many points, or will he kind of be a bit quiet, a little bit off his game? He needs to really be on form. I think that will be where the crux of it comes down to. If he can match Gucci, if he can best Gucci, or Peekaboo rather, I should say, that will be, I think, a lot of it where the side parts are kind of. I think Johan and Takuno, super interesting matchup. Both those players, I really look forward to seeing. Johan especially, super impressive, super great to learn from like a flex support standing. But I think Dip, like you said, he's been the unknown. He's been the feast and famine. I think that will match up into kind of Gucci. It's who's hungrier, who wants it more, who is going to be able to have the impact they need to do on this role. But we should be going into the game very shortly here in just a moment. There it is, the pool coming out. TA versus Quick Esports, the deciding match for who can go into the OWSS promotional bracket, who will get the glory. Starts now, and it's starting off with Quick on a Briggs Zen backline. Maybe a bull here, maybe a bait. We'll see in a moment. Tama hovering the Winston to start things off.
Yeah, interesting here. If that Mercy is real, I'm very happy to see it. I'm a Mercy enjoyer myself. As much as it's a weird thing to see, I do enjoy having my Mercy in ranked. I don't
No,
lose
you
often with it.
don't.
Yes, I
No,
do.
you don't.
Yes, I do. Yeah, yeah. You don't know
Well,
me, son. You don't know me, son. As we go into this, it's Peekaboo taking the early aggression onto the Diva there. Will is taking some aggro, and they've exchanged resources for space, which is a great thing to see. And Peekaboo does find Dip
oh,
very early on. That's a dangerous pick to get off early, as our stream is a bit, I think it's a bit laggy, would you say?
yeah, you you could say that, but interesting enough, Zydra is in a big nader onto Johan Cleanse to clean that one up, but Zydra in on the Cassie should really putting the heat onto Gooch, so the advantage should be in Dip's favor into this matchup, especially with the Kiriko historically being better at helping him. But in the first time, TA is the first one to get the cap. Zydra, though, answering back the kill onto Takuna, maybe with a double dink across the map. He was immediately coming in after being on the bench a fair bit in the regular season and making his impact very much known.
Yeah, I'm enjoying a citron muffin, as you probably saw earlier.
Okay.
Because it's difficult to say anything with this lagging, but it is looks like Quick is coming on top of this, and despite an early disadvantage, that's what they're gonna do. Oh, careful, oh my god, I think we've just accidentally licked the feed.
No, I don't know. It might be studio mode still, but regardless, I think we might be going over to a different perspective, a much more cleaner one there. Skytor to be streaming it for us, and that's nice to see. Dip just dueling back and forth. We've completely gone far into the future, I believe, as the stream is quite behind, but it does seem to be that Quick have taken 90%. Dip finishing off Tama with the pulse bomb. Maybe thinks his white is a clutch position. No, he's going to regroup here in just a moment.
Yeah, I mean, we did do a pretty time skip there. You could call me Doctor Strange, but what's not strange is seeing this Quick Esports early lead, and it's looking like they might be able to cap this very fast. We're gonna see a bit of a touch there from Peekaboo. Sombra TPing out there. And now it's 99 to 50. Tia are gonna be forced to touch this into a very bad position.
Never
And there's a
what?
Kitty Cross and a boop, and there's a C9 instantly
No.
going into the chat, trying to BM this very early on.
I mean, you would be touching into a Kitsune Rush. Quick know that that's the advantage they have, as they will force the point, force you to play on the rush. Normally, it's very easy to fight away at this level of play, but when you're forced in a situation, what else can you do? And Dip, pretty happy with that one. A good start, a good mental advantage being taken. The Ramatra Cassidy is currently what's being covered here by Quick. Want to go a lot more pokey. Understandable on this map. There's a lot more kind of long sightlines, maybe a lot more punishing to kind of be super aggressive or less high ground for a Diva to work from. But it does seem interesting as well that, it is going to be the Torbjorn we're starting off in, so the Tracer duel going to be forfeited entirely. Dip maybe choosing just to go for a much more aggressive on the side flank here, probably pairing up with Natsuki, and that is going to be the case looking early here.
Yeah, and we are able to hear comments here as well, which is pretty nice. We can do our comments check. There's a good off angle here, a very strong off angle hold here by Dip. A bit of an unusual setup, you would say, with who's taking the flank, but Peekaboo not really gonna be able to push this out unless there's a Tekuno nade coming in, which does finish off Dip there, and Tama finds Natsuki, so the unusualness hasn't worked out, and it's looking like Quick gonna be the back foot here as TA are gonna control this first point. Or this first fight, sorry.
It seems that TA team very happy to make me eat my words, going in a much more of a full kind of typical dive. A Brig on a Brig. I struggle to see how much value it gets into the Ram Rush, but it seems that Quick are not able to get on top of TA before their resources are being drained, so their Diva swap seems to be a pretty straightforward way to answer that. I think get it working though is a bit of a different matchup. They'll be going with the much more broadly, much more faster Kyrie Lucio backline versus this stable Arna Brig. But if they can get those short angles going, get those off angles popping, there should be an advantage for them here. Dip trying his best to keep his beloved turret alive, and maybe even getting a cheeky flank going here as well.
Yeah, there's a Lucio speeding going against the Arna Brig is gonna be difficult to break through, even with Torbjorn and Lucio. But Peekaboo is gonna be forced to do a little bit less of a job here. And now Quick are wrapping around them. They're all stuck in one
nice
singular.
Oh no!
Oh, Nano boosted. Oh, and Tama finds Zidder. There's a Nano Monkey, Nano Ana. Oh, but a trade onto Peekaboo here from Dip. We're seeing Dip's extremely high skill POV here, to be fair, which is a nice thing to see. And Dip finds another pick onto Tekuno. Oh, and a third one onto Tama, and that ends the fight.
Yeah, that's what you love to see. Dip I said at the start I need to see him before, but didn't expect to see it on the Torb, or maybe was expecting more of a Genji look. But a 3K on the Torb, now with the funny little wall turret perk as well, great stuff to play with. And Nano Boost Invest, I'm not sure any ults were from the side of Quick as well, so a clean fight win here. 50% taken 48, but now Quick have an advantage being able to hold this early setup here. Dip and Natsuki, Batman and Robin 11 on the side flank. So TA, I don't really have an equal cut. They can't send their Brig as easily with a side flank, but there's the aggressive run in with the Torbolt. Now Kite Path completely inaccessible, but there's a Winston in their face there, and Tama's able to take out two there with the help of Willis. Will find a trade. Doesn't really seem to be much more. Willis though and Zydra pairing up. Tama does fall down, even investing that primal.
Yeah,
Very little success.
pretty high value molten core there. Yeah, Tama had to jump back into it, which lost the HP, which allowed Zidro there to take the finishing blow. As well as there's some generally high damage there. Now there's a turret on the wall for Peekaboo to worry about. Not gonna be able to enter this room ever until you clear that. And they repositions it, which is good enough, fair enough. And but now there's a dangerous position.
Oh
Peekaboo
no.
acknowledges that, and Dip has fallen down. Maybe the turret reposition a bit too early there, but Peekaboo also acknowledges very well there. Quick are trying to make this right side rotation here, trying to punish the backline. Not gonna be able to happen. Thus Tama finds Willis. Peekaboo has fallen down though, but there's gonna be a little too late for Quick here to find these picks and these trades, and it's gonna go in the favor of TA.
So they are staggering out the point here. British gets like what, like almost 90%. That's a pretty nice percentage to have. That really gives you a lot of flexibility in that fight. Fight 90 plus, even 91% there. Rush was invested the bomb as well, unable to be turned with those Q presses though. Going to be back on Dip and Natsuki to come and fight this off angle again. I think two ults there available for the side of Quick, but overall, going to be pretty rough. They had to walk into a lot of a setup advantage here from TA. So again, it's business as usual. Go and fight Peekaboo on this side flank. Get your pincer going, but it seems to be an early hit here. Nano Boost invested, beat in response to High Noon as well. They're trying to really punish Tama here, but he's able to get all this life somehow. Never mind, Willis chases him down at the end. And that's a crucial opening pick. 80% on the board, but now Quick are on the point.
Yeah, sure. Oh,
Q.
that's nasty. That is nasty. Peekaboo says Peekaboo, and it goes down. I don't know if there's a retouch available for TA. As Tama gets booped by Natsuki, there's still a turret on the wall. Is going to be poking out that monkey quite heavily. And Diana does fall in that exchange. There's no one left to help out Tama anymore. And TA, just like, you can't spell Tama without TA. And TA does fall down to Quick here as Dipper releases one final blast of Molten Core on the ankles of Quick. And it's a first map victory for the home team here.
Yeah, you could even see there at the end, Dip, I think, just banned Torb, but for good reason. I mean, the Torb cast, absolutely, a mad scientist concoction there to make Peekaboo's life as horrific as possible onto the Tracer. I said that the Tracer duels, the Genji duels would be difficult, but why would you take them if you can just run the Torb, the Torb cast? Zydra seems to be looking really good on the casty so far, getting a lot of crucial picks, getting a lot of good trades. And, I mean, you're basically playing the Torb in the same positions you will with the Tracer anyway, but the Tracer cannot happily take that job, especially with a Brig. Maybe we like to see Alba go over onto the Lucio there, but choosing the Brig for stability rather. And you can't go the Pharah either as well, which you'd imagine would be better into the cast Torb than the Tracer there. But still, overall, a strong showing, a strong start from Quick there. Bit of a scuff situation overall, technically, but I believe the mainstream is also having similar problems to us, so we do apologize for that. We hope we should get resolved as possible. But the dip POV is a good way. It's quite ironic. You putting your hand up.
Yes, I would just like to say before you continue, go advertise to your friends that we have a clean POV with no lag.
Oh, is the
viewers
mainstream?
in here. Yeah, the mainstream is
scuffed?
lagging as
Yes.
well. Get us our viewers. Go advertise
The
to your
Quick
friends.
sponsored hackers, they've done it. Let's
Yes.
go.
Tobias has pulled the gun
Tobias,
on the Overwatch,
he's done it.
Overwatch producers.
No. Snowdrop secretly, it's just it's quite a hacker sounding name, is currently hijacking the broadcast to give us all the viewers. I do feel bad for the mainstream and all, but yeah, the dip POV is quite a nice cyclical thing. We started off with a rough technical side in the regular season, even in the qualifiers. We had to go and watch dip POV basically solo. And now to bring this up to the most important match of the season, to not quite the end, but basically the most important ending. here for Quick. We're now back on the Dip POV. So something quite sweet, arguably, about that. Maybe I'm just coping, who knows. Regardless, though, overall, strong showing from the start there by Quick Dip. Really able to pair it with Natsuki. And like we said, the flexibility there coming out had no holds barred and swapping things up very, very, on the fly to just counter comp the living, the living hell out of TA and whatever their comfort of the time decides to be. And yeah, strong showing from Quick, well on track to repeat the performance of the 3-0 match here there. And it's a great start. It's a good start. Quick fans up in arms at the moment, cheering from the rooftops, I have no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good start to say. I mean, of course, like you mentioned with the dip POV, it's something we're gotten used to. But so for the people that haven't gotten used to it, we're gonna blame the OWCS staff for this one. But yeah, I mean, we don't know how long of a break we're gonna have here before we start out with the next match. Um, I don't know what to say really. I mean, it's a very good start to the round, but we have no idea. We have no intel on anything at the moment. It's a
Yeah,
pretty rough situation, to be fair.
but I guess we can do maybe some hypotheticals, just to weigh up some of the options here. What do you think TA's biggest weaknesses were in that match? I personally think it was the Brig pick. Really couldn't do all that too much. Even when they talked to the Diva, you couldn't really survive, it felt like, and with all the angles that Quick were able to get on you, just dominating the side flanks, leaving Peekaboo to their own devices, which are generally quite good devices, well kept, well upgraded, good insurance, all that. But in the face of a 2v1, just could not hold on to that side angle. And when that gets going, the hit becomes way, way more impactful. I think there's a genuine chance we could see the tall ban, like Dip was suggesting, to TA directly in the match chat. That's a high possibility, I think. Maybe even going on to a much more thing, but no, it's actually the Diva ban and an Ana ban on the map pick of Numbani here. So interesting stuff there. What does that tell to you? What does that signal for what both teams are going to be rooting for in this Numbani map pick?
I mean, I do think. Well, let me see. I've got the band screen up here somewhere because I'm ignorant into listening. Yeah, the Ivan Anna. It is most likely here a target towards Willis. Is that TA banning first, right? It's TA banning first for this.
I believe it would make sense, right, for them to
Yeah.
ban away the diva.
Yeah, so
Uh,
if it is a logical ban system like I think it is, so then it's a TA banning Diva, which makes sense. You're banning Will as the strongest dive character, and then Quick Esports respond by banning Anna, which makes it more difficult for Winston to play. So you aren't
hmm,
able to use that range and as much as those hits that she want with Winston against a comp like Diva or Hazard. So now you're gonna go into a pure rush mirror basically on a map which is more famous for divey stuff. This kind of dive rush hybrid comp Winston Lucio or Hazard Lucio. They require a lot more patience to get in. You have to rotate a lot. You have to get into the positions you want to go in. So on the defensive side, it does make sense if you're picking the side as quick to go defense first and try to hit these rotations, which are really long on Nubani, which now you really can't ignore when the Ana is banned. You can't just set up your Ana and go for a nade and try to win the fight there. So you have to do like longer rotations and worry about all these hits that Quick or TA are gonna be able to put in. And yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. I expect to see some Hazard coming out of Quick, unless we see Skitor substitution in onto Numbani, which would be nice to see a Winston gameplay, maybe Winston mirror between Tama and Skitor there. But I would assume Quick probably aren't as comfortable with that concept. Um,
yeah, I think that's the question for me is what does the roster look like? Because Snowdrop is still available, and Snowdrop, it seems to be the looks right now is in a Sojourn matchup. Snowdrop seems to be the favored pick, and you can play the Sojourn on the Barney. I think Ash is preferred. Maybe losing your Ana makes you want to go towards more of a Sojourn angle because generally Kirilucia Sojourn might do better than Kirilucia Ash. But we'll see in a moment what the picks are, possibly in a second. But the map has been paused again. Classic delays. Wouldn't be FACEIT without it, but we will do our best to come on through what the actual looks end up being. We still are yet to see. But I believe it is Zydra still in, so maybe Sesame again, the Cassidy Seki around, the Ash coming into play overall. Gonna be interesting. Probably though still the Kiriluso, probably still uh, what it's going to be. Looks maybe we could see a Hazard come out with the Kyrie Lucio. I mean, I'm remembering that your team did play, the Quick Academy played Hazard into mine in Nordic E-League, I believe. But I don't know how much success that found. I don't know how like typically uh well round that is on Barney here, but could be an option we see if Winston and Diva are both out. Maybe we see some Orthodox tank play come out. Overall, though, still we're having just to see what the thing's gonna be. I think we had like a minute pause or something like that, so we'll have to see what it ends up being. But yeah, could all be a lot up in the air at the moment. Zydra, I believe, is the one having technical problems, which is not great to see because he was the star of the show the last 3-0 against TA. But what it ends up being, we're kind of having to wait and see at the moment. Production is doing their best to get things around and doing the absolute most they can to get us a good show to cast with, and the players as well. I'm sure this is going to be frustrating for them too.
Don't start spamming a grow in chat, please. My hair isn't gonna grow back that fast.
No, actually, Jay's secretly playing the hair grow frequencies again, like he was on the Commander X stream. He's slipping them into the clean feed, I believe. That's maybe even why the feed was a bit laggy at the start. It's looking good
got a
though.
good hairline.
Yeah, no, it's very impressive for a man of your age.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I had that one coming.
Was it now 30? 30.
Yeah, I can see your age is also coming in. You got that memory loss, guy.
32, right?
No, just
It's your birthday
11.
of the week.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
something like that.
Something like that.
It even with my
Just
advanced age,
two decrepit old men casting for quick here as we FACEIT stress has aged us a couple, taking our years off our life, but I'm sure when it gets to the moment, we will be able to really enjoy the match because it is the match of the season over here at Quick. This is the most, I mean, not most important. Grand finals is the grand finals, but getting there overall is still definitely going to merit quite something. I guess we can, in the meantime, go a little bit over the regular season, how that was for Quick. I believe that you were there for a little bit more of it than me, Matthew, at some points. They finished top four, 11-4. I believe I can try and see who their losses were to, if you remember any top of your head.
I believe that the losses from Quick were against the one was against Frostales, if I remember correctly. Then the one, oh yeah, they lost to Incendi as well at the start of the season. That's something I remember.
Yes,
And
yes.
was it
Quite the
maybe
upset.
was it maybe 0907 as well? Like these like common top tier teams that the Quick had a bit of a rough start against.
Yeah, I
And we
believe
are
it was
heading into the game now
007.
with communications again. It does seem.
007 Frost Health and TA previously, so it's been a back and forth so far. 1-1 the current match score, I say, between these two teams. 1-0 for Quick, and again we're seeing the Torbjorn. I believe it's a Hazard I can see on the high ground as well. Tama starting on the Winston, very heavy anti-dive here, a lot more brawl, poke potential. Brig, I believe, Juno even, possibly, but the Takuno somehow able to get a pick there on Zydra, even when Tama's out of the fight, but will get traded by a wall.
Yeah, no, there was a good trade on the Tekuno there. As much as you get the carry out of the way for Quick. There's another one that you have to worry about, and that's Dip. Meanwhile, you have no healing available stuff outside of the Juno angle, and there it is, Johan finding Tama. And oh, what another headshot onto XX Crusader XX there. Another new name change for Peekaboo. And oh, sorry,
He
I actually
grows
meant
with power
XX
every
Cruise
time.
5D4ER XX. That's a crazy name you got right there.
He's putting on the mask. He's locked in. His real superhero agenda. But yeah, we're seeing the Kiri Juno Winston, I believe, come out. But Hazard in play, Kiri Brig. So kind of super brawly, as brawl as you can be with a Hazard comp coming out here from Quick, and TA being a bit more loose with it, a little bit more silly goose behavior coming out. A lot more individual side angle. High Noon though, dominating pretty much every angle at the moment that can give you the point. But Quick managed to kite away and hold on for the time being.
Yeah, oh, and another pick from Dipa to onto XX Cruise 554D3 RXX, and yeah, that is The tactical bagging as well, you have to say, is appropriate in this kind of a situation. Make any stress happen that you can, and it's gonna be to your advantage. But yeah, 2 minutes left remaining. TA haven't found the key into unlocking this quick esports defense.
Yeah,
Only
Dip
one
is just
elimination on the board so far for them.
it's just pickle chilling on the point. It's only Zyja that fell in the start here, but like,
Oh my!
what on earth can Peekaboo do? Just getting
Oh
chased
my
down. Oh my
God!
goodness, Dip.
Oh,
There's
then
even
it's
a
oh
molten
my!
core
Don't.
thrown in.
Oh,
Tekudo
unknock on the
trying to
end.
come to aid and has come to the come instead. And oh, Dip, yeah, that's just. This man, I am so happy. If there's anyone making me happy to eat my words, it's Dip right now, lighting up the whole stage with the shows performing at the moment. And TA have just been fumbling into this. They can't seem to get a hit going. There's something to get any kind of setup, get any kind of resources drained away. But maybe just brute force now with this Kitsune Rush. But there's two ults back in response. A third one, even a rally coming out. So much damage out onto Latsuki. Willis will get a trade onto Lauren. Tama, though, with two. Should be enough maybe to clean this up unless Lauren can find something. But no, it's Takuno. The headshot onto Zyja maybe giving him finally a tick onto this first point.
It's an interesting set of events there for sure. There might be a retouch still available here for Quick if they're able to keep Willis alive here. There's a come for the retouch as well. Willis finds it and finds Peekaboo there and an early pick with a Juno ring help there. Alba has found Willis, and Dip is still pumping in damage. There's no amount of amounts of pressure that's gonna stop him from getting in here. And I don't, as much as I like to say it, I don't think Quick is gonna retouch this unless there's some magic happening here. As Didra
Wait,
pops this.
Zy just popped High Noon?
Oh my, oh
Okay,
my.
maybe a swap. Maybe a swap. But still, I mean, Dip putting out immense amounts of pressure at the moment, on his way to a second Molten Core already. Right now, like, the highest damage in lobby only behind Lauren. I think, behind Lauren by just a smidgen there. But some swaps coming out from TA. No more the Winston. Genji coming out here from Peekaboo as well. So maybe now Quick on this second point. Again, there's more high grounds. Like you'd imagine TA should have more of an advantage. Is that a Junker Queen on the horizon? What am I seeing out from the tank side of TA? I'm not 100% certain. No,
It
that's a
is
Hazard
a
mirror.
hazard. Yeah, it is a hazard there, and there's a Cassidy Genji now in the play for TA to kind of counteract this double anchor composition of Quick here. A little bit more difficult to clear out this Genji, especially if the Cassidy is on an angle as well. They're popping this Molten Core to try to hunt the cast down, taking a lot of damage though. Loren is able to get out there, and the Dip has used that Molten Core to little value there, but Zidra's found Alba in the midst, and that's a great opening pick. Now you're just gonna have to start putting in the pressure at some point here as Quick and try to halt this cart here before it gets on this corner. Kiriko Rush pops into an orbital ray now from respective both sides. And it does look like T are going to have to forfeit this fight as Tama falls down. Peekaboo still on this corner and Genji trying to get any value, any trades possible. But it's not gonna happen. This Quick Esports taking more momentum here. Only a minute 20 left remaining. As Dip has unlocked this wall turret perk and is popping it on the skyscraper.
Yeah, that's a position of all time. Right now, Quick are sitting pretty themselves. Only a minute left on the clock. Still, TA should have a fair few ults coming out, and it's quite concerning to say the least. Uh, what?
Uh,
What
wait,
just
huh?
happened to my screen?
What?
What?
That was good.
Tag
Okay,
will hit
charge.
charge.
Oh, I see, I see. So I believe we've gone from the even like I believe we're ahead of the game on the Twitch stream side of things, but now our observer is now into the Discord of the players. So that explains the giant skip in progress. Or yet again, Quicker just pulling out some kind of mythical powers
Well,
to
should we go back to the
bend
to the
space to
stream for a
reality.
bit? Should we go back to the stream for a bit?
I don't.
It's kind of-
Well, it might be slightly spoiled what the
There's
results
been a warp
were.
in time. There's been a warp in
The Dip Torbjorn is currently bending space and time to his will. I mean, makes sense the performance he was putting on that match. This brawl style, this cast Torb really seems to be up Quick's alley here. And TA fumbling around for any kind of answer, it seems, and just they might genuinely just ban Torb. I think with every time and space warping, every headshot from Dip, it's coming in more and more to their minds to just get this nuisance out of the lobby. But it's looking like a 2-0 right now. I mean, with the way Quick are playing, the way TA losing. Quick here. Though, I mean, how do you attack this as this comp match? Where do you want to go? Just like you just force the high ground, maybe try and just rotate coast. What's the game plan here for Quick coming out now?
I think that what they're gonna do is they're gonna rotate this along coastline like they are going to do now. But yeah, I was gonna say there's gonna be like a 1-2 split here from these sides. I was expecting Dip to go under and the rest of the core team to go on the coastline. But it does look like Dip is going to be choosing this pressure angle here on the top right to really get some backshots in on Tama.
Goodness.
Tama is going to have to jump in and
Oh
is going
my
to
goodness.
be taken down. And there's a Pharah still looming around though, but the tank has fallen down. Now you just gotta stabilize. And this fight is Quick Esports want to take. 30 seconds is all it takes to break this first hold. And I do believe that the
Wow.
mind games of Dip have been working in their favor. TA are kind of crumbling here. Like the citron muffin I ate earlier, to be fair. It was all over my shirt afterwards. But
Well, I mean,
that's a bit of tomfoolery. Maybe Dip is now swapping over off this Torbjorn. We're seeing a Genji pick come out. I was expecting a
Genji,
Junker to be
Pharah.
PM against the Pharah. But
yeah, Sojourn as well. Much more different look, right? You said previously that TA had an Orisa in them. They knew that this is something they wanted to play, and maybe the bound, the Juno denied that. But even without the Juno going into the Curia Lucio, they're still going to be trying to overwhelm, really punish Willis for any kind of aggression here. But Dip, talking about aggression, is currently in and thriving. There's 4 members after him. The Cleanse invested as well, and Dip is still alive somehow. Finally, that reign of terror put to an end by Peekaboo there, but still, like, car progress is rolling. Zidra probably next to get traded out here, and this Orisa, finally a roadblock laid down by TA, but 4 minutes, almost 5 minutes to work with for Quick here to only go, what, 30 odd meters. And Dip is feeling himself. The reflected direct there is chasing after it. And I believe we're going back to the Quick feed. The thief, there's another warp in time.
okay, yeah, we are time traveling somehow, but
Oh, this is back on the first point.
oh wait, we're going
Attack.
back to the first point attack
Back
now.
in time.
Okay, we are.
So we're seeing it was... Okay, we're seeing that Zidra was
Oh.
the one.
Oh my! What the hell is going on?
Okay, so we will break down the sequence of events. The timing has been. Wait, that was the end?
Yeah, that was the.
Wait, what? There was I thought we went back in time. We went forward. What? What on earth? I thought we went back in time.
No, we went forward apparently. There was a
We went
flip
forward
happening.
5 minutes.
Oh my.
What on
Wait, no.
earth?
Wait, no. They just ended the map very quickly there, I believe.
Oh
we're
yeah,
kind
no,
of-
Quick just that was
Yeah,
Quick
we're
just...
kind of in like a low-key-esque time travel loop here.
No,
We're
because
in like a loom or
Matthew,
something. Where
they had 5 minutes left on the clock, and when we saw that last at the end there with Dip going crazy on the in the raid with the high noon, that was an overtime.
Are you sure? I'm not quite
Yeah,
sure.
I saw overtime at the top. I'm
I
pretty
think,
sure.
you might be schizophrenic, my friend. But I'm not quite entirely sure what's going on either.
Okay, Quick
Quick have
Quick
taken
have one map
two.
2. Okay. This is not the way I imagined the Quick would be doing this. I think this is very, very unorthodox. But hey ho, a win is a win. 2-0 there for Quick versus TA. Let's not dabble on the time travel shenanigans going on. I mean, we have to compete with the mainstream somehow. I didn't think the time travel would be the way we were doing it, but I guess that's our gimmick now. But okay, from the looks of it, it appears that the Torbcast has absolutely been every single nail in the coffin for this match so far. Just hammered on in by the Torb hammer, by the headshots coming out from Zydra and from Dip. We're seeing Willis get to flex his muscles on the hazard pick there. Super, super strong look from him. We know historically coming into the series, we were really all absolutely amazed by his win rate in like champ rank of like 60, 70% win rate on just the hazard at the rank back when hazard was super hard meta. But it seems like the Torb meta, the Dip meta is upon us, and TA are currently feeling the full weight of it bearing down their neck and really seem to be digging themselves deep into a hole. But yeah, you can ban Torb if you want. You can follow Dip's advice, but that only leaves you with one Torb ban. And at the moment, if you don't do that, they can't seem to figure it out. is it a 3-0 on the horizon? What is going on with TA? What is their struggles? It really seems to be that Peekaboo, they've just completely eliminated their impact in the game. They've always been a star for TA, but the Torb just seems to complete their kryptonite almost.
Yeah, I mean, there seems to be some internal beefing going on between this Torbjorn ban, from what I can understand from Dip. I mean, we're seeing Dip dwell into the chat, and
He's making it quite external, let's say. He's making it quite public knowledge.
maybe there was some Torbjorn ban shenanigans in the first season, or like the regular season, but I'm not sure what's going on there. But the time traveling can be explained by the fact that we've got like three feeds going in right now,
Yeah.
and our observer is shuffling through them all like a deck of cards, and it's looking like a constant mess. But if nothing else, you're seeing the most live feed, as we literally have like 20 seconds delay or something. So like you
Yeah.
can see everything before anyone else. So if you've got some bets going in, you can just kind of time predict it. Say what's gonna happen and whatnot.
Yeah,
But,
it's quite the experience, but still an interesting map, an interesting predicament that Quick have engineered for themselves with the Tourbillon. Do you think they're gonna stick with it? I think it heavily depends on the map picks, right? What it's push, maybe escort next as well. I think Torb. You're a
think
Torb
Torb
man.
can work anywhere. It's just a matter of how you do it. I mean, there's no weak map for Torbjorn, but I wouldn't say there's necessarily that many strong ones either. Numbani is one of those exceptions where Torbjorn is notoriously really strong. A lot of since you're able to really hold multiple angles and fortify even one really strong move at turret and still keep another one maintained. A map like Numbani, where there's not many entrances, it's gonna be a favorable one for yourself for sure. Same with Nepal as well. Like we saw them play the Nepal Torbjorn, it really does work kind of well. And
Yeah.
I would say if they're gonna look into a push map here, then you really have to avoid what is it called? The new one.
Runasapi?
Runasapi, yeah, the one with the linear lines, linear maps. It's just avoid those if you're TA. But it might just seem like this is where we're gonna see, are TA too far gone in the tilt already or not? Because it does seem like they are struggling a little bit harder than expected. And in all fairness, Dip is not making that any easier with typing in the chat constantly. A lot of these Frosttail center DPS players and generally players as well seem to be quite active in the chat.
But I mean, you are going to be facing. There's a Doomfist dancing on my screen. There's a. Sorry, no one else can see this. I just appear incredibly bizarre. But it does really appear that they are preparing super heavily for this Frosttails matchup, getting the chat ready to fire back on all cylinders. And I mean, at the moment, they're well on their way to doing just that. Super dominant so far. And I think, like you said, the bans at the start was a really great shout by you to see just how ahead of the game Quick are with their bans, it seems. They banned out the Pharah to really force Peekaboo onto the Genji, onto the Trace to make that tour pick extra lethal. Then they recognize that old Diva's off the cards. If we ban a pick that adjacent to the Winston to make the Winston really weak, the Hazard, Willis, one of the strongest heroes for him, is now the most prevalent pick on that map. So really, it's just been great recognition on the fly, predetermined, whatever it may be, the planning wise. But they've been super good at utilizing these bans to really be a knife in TA to cut out their resources, to make their lives as difficult as possible. And TA just seem to be like a fish out of water at the moment. We know the quality of these players, know the level of game they can do. But Quick right now just seem to have an answer to everything. They're playing their game, and that game is a Dip game. It's a Torb matchup, it seems, at the moment. And yeah, genuinely interested to see where TA decide to end up taking us, what they decide to be banning out. We just have to wait and see for any more information that we can get.
Yeah, I mean, have you told about the bans already?
Are the bans coming out?
Yeah, the bans are out. It's Winston Lifeweaver.
What? Wow.
It's a Winston
okay. As I was glazing their ban super hard. Is that TA banning? No, they can't ban with.
No, wait. Lifeweaver.
Quick.
No, wait.
Quick.
No, I'm pretty sure the first ban was Winston, so I think it's TA banning Winston.
Maybe just denying a Skytor coming in to deny that.
Tama does have that
Diva
quite flexible
matchup.
hero pool, so it makes sense if you're gonna ban one of the stronger parts of Quick out like this. as we see Tama already approaching the side ground, but it's gonna be forced back. Willis is keeping that backline in check quite well. Good defense matrix usage there. Trying to really pick off Tama, but I don't think that's gonna happen. We are limited to what we can see here by Dip. But a Tracer duel is imminent between Dip and Peekaboo here, as it's trying to force it out. Sojourn, Tracer, Diva, Brick. That and Anna, yeah, it's quite a strange comp here from TA.
Different though, and Willis right now just partnering up to really suppress any kind of movement on this cart. Just cycling up and down through this elevator to get a pinch going. He's also spotted out Gucci, Biggie up on this side flank as well. Nade goes in, not sure how it comes through, and it doesn't even matter because the Tracer duel's been dominated by Dip. And Willis, a lone Diva, now getting staggered out onto the hard game, and a late boot there from Natsuki. Zydra as well. I mean, Dip is just absolutely being a spanner in the works, even on the Torb, without the Torb, sorry, making sure that any kind of hits from Tama are just Tama alone, and those hits should not get a kills, and at the level of play, they will not. So, TA yet again losing the first fight, a minute already burnt off the clock here, and yet again this Tracer duel going on the side.
Yeah, I mean,
So Hazard's coming out.
Yeah, there's already 2 minutes off the clock and you've decided to swap your character. Now it's a late decision, but it's a good one. And there's a pulse bump in on Alba, and Alba does fall down. He's gonna have to just retreat here, and another 10-20 seconds left off the clock, and Peekaboo falls as well. Is Tama gonna fall down as well? There's a stagger going on right here.
Did Peekaboo just kill himself with his own pulse bomb? I'm pretty sure he did. That's not the way you want to lose your star flex DPS, and the Hazard now alone in his dives yet again. Cart has made its way under the bridge. Dip doing all he can to cycle through as much as possible. Gets that perk, has to back out at the moment, no resources. Never mind, still going in, still being an absolute nuisance. They've sent 2 back to hunt him down, but only a minute left. 30 seconds with that 2 on the clock, and all of quick are back in full force. Dip still in the backline yet again with this Tracer duel. It's a rally on point at the moment, a deal bomb to be forced. No, there's no bomb to come with it, but a pick from Natsuki out into Alba, and Orbital right here too. They have to clean this up though. So they're currently still playing with a baby Diva as their front line.
Yeah, trying to find this Anna as the calls are coming through really energetic still here for Quick, all things considered. A minute left only as mentioned, and now Dip is sneakily looking for another pulse bomb, possibly into Alba again. Seemed to work last time. This is gonna work again. It doesn't seem to connect, but it does force them to turn around, and there's a high noon being popped and an overclock to match it here from Loren this time. Trying to find Dip here on this off angle. Quick are going to have to retreat here onto this backside, but no one has fallen down here. It's another fight very possible before the card gets to this end stop, as they're trying to find Loren here. Tracer in the backline, Peekaboo forced out by good engagement from Dip. Trying to find this pick out to Peekaboo. Peekaboo's dangerous low, getting taken down there. Hazard ultimate popped in revenge. Trying to get any value out here, trying to maintain this card going forward. The momentum has been stopped though. Only Alba left to heal TA, and the damage is plenty and hefty. And it does look like Tama is going to be some staggers possible here for Quick to take off TA, and there's only 10 seconds left on the clock for this last fight.
Yeah, what on earth they even have? A touch, a very minimum I assume, but anything else after that? Live just coming back onto the Sombra as well. Panic stops out from TA. Gonna be Pikachu untouched, but he's gonna get hacked up there. Throwing out the pulse. No connection though, that's big. A nano boost though, trying to kill him, but he's taken out. Dip yet again, even without any benefit there from the nano boost. The pulse bomb as well onto the Doom pick. And it's looking like a super aggressive forward hold. Johan taking out Tama super late, a rally on point, cleaning up, dusting off the remnants, the fragments of TA. It's a first hold from Quick Esports. And yeah, it's not over yet, but TA, they have to really match a kind of performance. It's still open. Dip getting into the hearts and minds of TA at the moment, just absolutely being a nuisance across the hill. I'm not even sure he died once that matchup, and yeah, TA feeling the pressure.
Yeah, it is a dangerous possibility here. As mentioned previously, TA might just be too far gone at this point with Dip's trash talking. As you know, it's not something you consider, but the mental game is such a big important thing for Overwatch, as well as any other game. And it is like 2 full holds basically is a bit rough to work with, you know, like Numbani they did get past, but this Dorado is looking rough. You don't even get to like the end part of the map where you would normally lose it. You get stuck on that corner between the well and the inside room. as we are freezing a statue here. I swear this is vandalism.
Yeah, I mean, Diff right now is being an absolute. I mean, he's doing something. He's being a degenerate at the moment in game on the statue on the Widow pick to start things off. Maybe just looking for a cheeky pick. Now we'll be hovering back onto the Tracer here. Brig, Juno, Diva, the style of choice here. Still with the Cassidy, still heavy on the Brawl. The Cass really coming back into form with these recent buffs on the fall-off damage, and Zydra making full use of it. But Dib actually going back onto the Ginch. Is that a Hanzo? Did I see a Hanzo Storm Arrow on the point?
Wait,
Is that a
Pharah
Junkrat?
at least.
That's a Pharah.
No, it's a
Okay,
Pharah,
okay,
that's a
okay.
Pharah,
Phew,
yeah. I
There's
wish
a
it was a
Hanzo.
Junkrat.
There is a Hanzo.
So there's a double poke composition here coming up from the backline, and Zarya as well. It's a bit of an interesting look,
Wow.
but we're just gonna take the high ground here apparently, and we're gonna ignore the threat of the Zarya there on the lower grounds. The Hanzo is somewhere still here as a menace, getting bubbled out. Speedring use as well for that fight, and the resources of TA are quickly falling now. There's not much left to deny Dip or the rest of Quickform just engaging in soon. There's a pick, but it doesn't. It seems to be a pick onto Natsuki there. Can't really see the kill feed with the overlay being taken over it, but that's fine. As Dip is still moving cart there. Minute left off the clock.
Someone has to
tell me
go
that's a
contest
Sinan.
him.
Oh.
No. It's the Hanzo there of, I believe that's Peekaboo on the Hanzo.
It's either
Dip is
Peekaboo
just kind
or-
of lurking there. He's just kind of chilling in the back. I'm trying to get a back half or just waiting for his team to
Oh.
regroup.
Yeah, Peekaboo, Hanzo, or Loren, Pharah. It's
Oh.
an interesting look, to be fair. I'd
Yes,
expect
I mean,
the Peekaboo on the Pharah.
you really have to change something up, as I believe TA is kind of, but this is the sounds of desperation. Dip always found his
Oh.
sightlines onto Takuno, but no one else with him to finish that kill. He's just kind of being a nuisance. You can't let him be uncontested, but there's a Pharah now, 1 HP, packs coming through, and it won't save him! There's like 2-3 packs there, and it still cannot stop Dip in Reign of Terror. He's continuing going. There's no one in his Pharah hands that can easily go and chase him, and now...
Oh, a nice headshot.
never
there from
mind!
Peekaboo.
Yes, he can with a headshot.
But there are 2 ultimates available here, 3 building up for Quick, as a high noon is popped to try to delay their push, and a wall up to try to get that sight line. Is there gonna be able to touch? 2 meters left. Dip is coming back soon. You've got the ultimates available here for Quick Esports. We don't know the status of TA's ultimates, but Dip is going on a flank. There is an enemy pick here. I don't know who's falling down. Oh, and a bullet bomb is put onto Peekaboo, and there's an orbital raving from both sides. Maybe you can find Tekuno here, but no, there's a lot
Lorenz
of
killed
ultimates in play though.
themselves. Loren has killed themselves, I believe maybe possibly with the barrage or something, but Takuno needs any kind of help, and Alba, you can only help him in his grave. Takuno and Alba both fall in the last minute grab on the point, but it's only a dragon to follow up. The secondary shot will take Dip out as that. Tama holding strong with time being. The Farah is back though. Can the Farah touch? No! Loren unable to, and the trash shot coming through as the win, the 3-0 taken there by Quick TA. Looked so strong regular season, finished first seed. Quick lost 3-0 some before, but back-to-back 3-0s now in the playoffs leave them looking stronger as ever. What a performance from the side of Quick there. What a genuine bunch of superstars coming up now, making it into the top 2, making it into OWCS promotion region, and now just the grand finals around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, that's I was getting a bit worried there on the last fight, considering how you know we did see a few trades coming out, and there was gonna be really little time left. But really, the end to the series is the British backline falling down like the London Bridge, and that is the end of TA story as well. They're fallen down in a quite an unfashionable manner compared to their early season start. And that's Quick Esports going into the OWCS relegations. Everyone, let's go!
Let's go.
I know excitement.
A salute in the chat maybe as well for our fallen soldier Jay Magduffbear, who is believed to have somehow cut his hand in the observing process, is bleeding. It's a nosebleed apparently. He's gotten so excited, so intensely committed to the Quick. We really do salute him. We hope he feels better soon too. Yeah, what a stream! What a first match to start things off, and Quick. What a performance from them.
Yeah, I mean, time traveling, nosebleeds, and that Quick 3-0. We haven't even been here really for an hour, And we had like observing issues as well at the start, which delayed our start. So it's been like less than 45 minutes. I was expecting here to be here until like the next hour at least in the minimum. But yeah,
I was
Mhm.
I was expecting a brawl, but right there, it kind of just felt like a slapping contest. But Quick just kind of went in, got their big hit, and TA just backed out. They got stomped on the pool by the Torb, full held on them. Barney time traveled on throughout the whole point, and they couldn't really get a strong fight back. It felt like. So yeah, TA out of the competition in third place there. Quick now looking to the future against Frosttails. They're already matching them on the trash talking, it seems. So we'll be able to match them on the game match. Do you think? I mean, like we had our predictions, right? Frosttails looked really, really good, but Quick have already gone above my expectation. That's saying something. I'm number 2 Quick Glazer worldwide, but still, like Frosttails have looked really, really strong. Do you think after this, boost in performance, boost in morale, maybe for Quick, that they can take it now to the top dogs?
It is entirely possible, but as we know, um, Frosters, to say the least, they're very talkative, and it does seem to impact Quick a little bit in our previous series that we watched. I mean, Frosttails did take that 3-1. It was quite a rough series as well to say. So like we'll see how Quick's mental prepares for Frosttails. It's like they are a very talented team. Don't get me wrong, but I think the matchup is more even than expected. But their talent to talk absolute trash is incredible. And we see Crocs typing about everything, and it does impact teams quite heavily to say the least.
Yeah, but
And
the
yeah.
secret dip source seems to be that he's maybe got some lessons there from that, and back to like, oh my goodness, back into bringing in that secret weapon they need, the Tourbillon. Cassidy, incredible look there coming out, and yeah, they've got an observer that believes that they've got a production staff that will make time travel happen. Quick have all the tools they need, I think, to battle at Frosttails. The last time they met was a loss to them. In both times, it was I believe, it was a 3-1 in the regular season, and in the playoffs recently, it was another 3-1 to them. So 3-1 has been their curse at the moment, but with it being a best of 7 coming up, will they make it a 4-1, or will they make it a 4-3, a 4-0 in their favor? It's all kind of yet to be seen. I believe it might be a good idea for us to go to a short break soon. I'm not sure when the next match is meant to be starting, but I believe we can get that all figured out behind the scenes.
According to schedule, the next match is supposed to be starting in an hour, but I'm sure we'll be trying to make it into an ASAP moment and hopefully get the not dip broadcast. As much as nice as it is to see the player POV, so it would be nice to also see a little bit more information from a caster point of view. As much as I do understand as well, me personally as well, I do love hearing communications and seeing like individual POVs to see how they adapt to the game and whatnot. But yeah.
Well,
We'll
yeah.
be yeah.
You talk about an ASAP moment. Players are starting grand final bans in 5 minutes, apparently. So the break will
Okay.
be a lot shorter than expected, I'm sure. But oh, never mind. It's the bans are starting in 5 minutes, and they have a break. So the break might be a little bit longer. But keep your eyes back here on the stream. But I believe we can head to a short break for the moment. Keep your eyes peeled on the stream for the grand finals. Quick to come to face against their rivals in the rest of this tournament. Frosttails, the trash talking Titans, versus Quick now, who are on a roll. Will they be able to take the grand finals for themselves? Already, congratulations for making it into the OWSS promotion range, but you have to find that out all shortly, soon enough. So for now, thank you all for watching this 3-0 from Quick versus TA. We'll be seeing you after the break.
Hello.